Hello, beautiful people. Happy day to you. I hope that you're having a wonderful Friday. I wanted to come on here and share a word that the Lord downloaded into my spirit last night as I was reading in Ezekiel. It's Ezekiel 12, and Ezekiel 12 is just about the Lord using Ezekiel as a sign to the people to show them what's to come. And he says in 12:2, "Son of man, you live among rebels who have eyes but refuse to see. They have ears but refuse to hear, for they are a rebellious people." So the Lord kind of highlighted refuse to me in this, because refuse is meaning that they could see, but they chose not to. And I looked up the exact definition of refuse, and it says to indicate or show that someone is not willing to do something. So they are flat out not willing to see. Which is what sometimes we do. But God is giving them a chance. He is using Ezekiel as a sign to show them, hey, this is what's going to happen if you guys don't open up your eyes and see. And that's what he does in 12:3-11. He tells Ezekiel to do several things to show them what is going to happen. He has them do odd things to get their attention, because sometimes God does things in a certain way to get our attention, to make us think, oh, that's not right. Why is that happening? And it's interesting because they were rebelling against God. They were refusing to see and hear. And God is still having mercy on us and them in this case, to get our attention, to try to give us one last chance before his fury rains down on us and these people. And so he has Ezekiel do several things, but I think it's interesting because in 12:6 he says, he tells Ezekiel, "As they watch, lift your pack to your shoulders and walk away into the night. Cover your face so you cannot see the land you are leaving, for I have made you a sign for the people of Israel." So I think that it's interesting that he said cover your face, because he's saying in the beginning, these are rebellious people who refuse to see. So it goes back to that. They're refusing to see. So basically, you're walking around with your eyes covered when you're refusing to see certain things. So God is even having him do this direct sign to show them, hey, you guys are not paying attention. You need to uncover your eyes. And, he says this is what King Zedekiah is going to do. And that's exactly what happens. And sorry, I had to write a lot of notes because it was a lot that he was telling me to talk about. So in 12:12-13, King Zedekiah does exactly what Ezekiel was showing the people, and that's exactly what the Lord said he was going to do. The king covers his face, and when he does this, the Lord is able to throw a net over him and capture him. I think it's interesting because sometimes when we feel like we're in a trap, we automatically will say, oh, Satan did this, or this is a trap of the enemy. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you are refusing to see and hear what God is trying to correct you on, God will trap you too, because he's not going to let you get away with this stuff forever. He has to do certain things to get our attention. So he has to put us in traps to get us out of our own trap. Okay? And I think that that's why it's so important to know that and to not blame the enemy, and because that can harden our hearts even more. We need to ask God and pray and ask him for revelation as to, sometimes we're blinded to what we're doing. We don't, we're covering our eyes. We've got our ears closed, refusing to do things. So if we think it's a trap of the enemy, we might just completely disregard our role in the things that we're doing. We have to pray to God, beg for forgiveness, come to him on our knees and beg for him to allow us to see and hear. Choose. Say, God, I want to choose to see. I want to choose to hear. I don't want to be a rebellious person anymore. And he will listen, but we have to beg for forgiveness, because we don't know when the Lord is going to move. The Lord is very patient. He is very loving. He's very kind, but he's also going to have his way eventually. So we don't know that time. That time is chosen by God. So we need to beg for him to open our eyes again, to unharden our hearts, and just be really diligent in doing so, and ask him to make us childlike again, and just pay attention to him in all of his ways. And he goes on to say in 12:21-28, It talks about the people mocking God's patience. You know, they are talking about Proverbs, and they say, and it's 12:23, he said, I will put an end to this proverb, and you will soon stop quoting it. These people were saying, time passes and prophecies come to nothing. So they were taking the Lord's patience in vain and saying, you know, oh, he's not going to do anything. But the Lord, this angered the Lord to move, you know, and sorry, I'm just reading my notes really quickly. Oh, it talks about how less than 6 years later, Jerusalem was destroyed. So after them saying all the things like, okay, the Lord's not going to do anything. This is just false visions, false predictions. The Lord is not going to move. We have plenty of time. It took less than 6 years for the Lord to move on what he said he was going to do. And the things that the people did angered God to move. So what you're doing, what you're putting off, what you're saying is the enemy and is not you, you could be angering God to move on that behalf. So you have to be ready. You have to always assume that it might be you. You have to always pray, God, is this me? Am I standing in my own way? Please, God, open my eyes to the things that I don't see. That, you know, it's about choosing, but sometimes we become so blind to things that we completely disregard it. So we need him. We need God. We need God to show us these things. And, you know, I come to you today because I know a lot of us are stuck in this. And I don't want judgment to fall on any of us. I want God to continue to have patience, but I just want you to know that God's patience will run out. You don't have forever. Again, God's time is chosen, and that's his decision, and you don't know when that chosen time is. You have to act and move as if it is today, right now, this second. Ask him to forgive you of all the things that you have done, and he knows our heart, and he will do it. He will do it. He will forgive you if your intentions are pure. I don't want any of us to be like the one refusing to see. I pray that this message falls on open ears, not rebellious ones. Okay, open your eyes, open your ears to hear, your eyes to see, because God is always working in our life. He is always showing us things. And this right here in Ezekiel 12 is a warning, but it's also, this is a living God. So this warning is not old. This warning is for us, okay? So there are signs that are happening. There are things that are happening in your life that God is showing you to open your eyes and give you another chance because he loves you, okay? Nothing that you have done will separate you from him if you come to him with pure intentions, with your whole heart, and confess everything. And the things that you don't know to confess, you ask God for him to show you those things, and he will, okay? I am praying for you. God has done so much for me, so much, and he's still doing things for me. Every single day, every single second, he is revealing things to me that I do not know, okay? Good and bad, and he's going to do the same for you, okay? So the living God is waiting for you to uncover your face and see him because he sees you, okay? I love you guys. I'm praying for you. Again, I hope this message falls on open ears, okay? God loves you so much, and I love you too. I hope you have a wonderful day.